Hi, I'm Molly Robbins and I'm going to talk to you about the different uses for piping gel. Piping gel is something that every cake decorator probably has in their store, and if they don't then they should, because it has loads and loads of different uses. But you might be kind of unsure as to how many different things it can be used for. It's very, very versatile and it's something I use probably every day. The first use of piping gel I would say is to pipe with. You can tint it with liquid colours. I tend to use either Colour Flow or the Pro Gel colours, or anything kind of very concentrated and not too watery. And you just mix that with your piping gel and you can pipe with it as you would a royal icing. And it creates quite a nice effect. I mean, a nice stained glass effect you can get from piping gel if you pipe with it with quite a loose finish. You can also use it to glaze. So I'm going to show you how you can use it to glaze stuff. This is a very simple way. So we've got the eye that we made before, and it's just a case of brushing it on. And you can see there, it's given it a nice realistic shine. You don't want it to be too thick because then it can look quite blobby. But if you just use a small amount, you can even let that dry and then add another coat later on if you wanted to. It gives it quite a nice natural finish. If you're making something where you'd want to make like a pond or a swimming pool or something that looks wet, you can colour it blue, or you can colour the sugar paste underneath blue and then paint the piping gel over the top. It's a case of not using too much. I think sometimes if you use too much it doesn't set. But yeah, you can use it to make like a water effect. Even running water, if you're going to make something, you know, with a waterfall, and you can really bead it down. I'll show you how I can use it as well. Sometimes, say you're making a flower. I'm just going to make a really quick example here, and do not judge me on my flower making because this is quick. Say you're making a rose. So let's just make a very quick rose here in this nice green colour so you can see it. So we all know how to do this. This is obviously not a stunner of a rose, it's a bit more like a cabbage, but it gives you the effect. So any sort of open flower this works for. And I'm going to show you how to make little dewdrops using piping gel. Easy, but quite effective. So there's our kind of open cabbage / rose. I've got no cutters, that's why I'm using my hands. Oops, right, so let's say that's a rose. Again, don't judge. But what we're going to do is get the piping gel and we're going to put just little blobs of it on the rose. And this is going to be like little dewdrops or little raindrops that have settled on the flower. It's very kind of delicate. But look, you can, it just looks really delicate and really effective, I think. You see there. It's given quite a glass-like finish. And I mean, they're the most obvious uses. I mean, you can also use it for sticking things. If you use piping gel very thin and then let it dry, it goes really, really super sticky. So it's great for sticking stuff together that maybe edible glue wouldn't normally stick. It's quite versatile for that reason. You can also use it to stabilise. So if you are working with whipped cream, for example, and you wanted to stabilise it, then piping gel mixed in with the whipped cream will mean that you've got a more stable cream to use. I know people use it for making mirror glaze, which you can then pour over. I'm not sure exactly how the quantities are with the mirror glaze, but you can definitely use it and just kind of experiment to see the best kind of finish and the best, just kind of familiarise yourself with it, and you'll find it's a really super versatile tool. I make cakes of savoury food quite often, so I make kind of a meat and potato pie, for example, and I make gravy using piping gel. I use piping gel, the brown food colouring, and then a little bit of royal icing just to give it kind of a bit of opacity, and it makes such a disgustingly realistic gravy. You've never seen anything like it. And yeah, it's my go-to, definitely. I think you should all go out and buy yourself a pot.